The Mean One is a Christmas horror film starring David Howard Thornton playing the one that cannot be named, at least in this film. But basically, it tells the story of the Grinch. And this is a film that bases the Grinch around a horror movie. And basically, the Grinch is a killing monster kind of thing and wreaks havoc around this place called Newville instead of Whoville from the original Grinch story. And David Howard Thornton is famous now for playing Art the Clown in the Terrifier films. And he was brought into this project to kind of portray a silent Grinch and, just facial expressions, movements, stuff like that. And this is a very independent project. This is a very low budget film. It's definitely a B movie. And it claims to have been released in 2002, but I didn't hear anything about it whatsoever until the last couple months, and absolutely nothing. So it feels like a 2023 film, and it definitely got its wide release now. This film is okay. I had a good time with it and I enjoyed it, but this is one hell of a B movie. I mean, we're talking like on the level of like to be released Krampus films kind of thing. I'd say this one is probably a little bit better than most B movie Krampus films, but I mean, it's not a big bar to be beaten. This film is very low budget, and it just has this really cheap feel to it. It's not meant to be taken seriously kind of thing, so you can have, at least I had a good time with it for what it was. There's a lot of CGI. I don't think there's any practical blood in this film at all from what I saw. Like, everything is so staged and CGI, and the editing is not good. Like, I'd say the editing is one of the least good qualities of the entire film. Not very good acting all around. The kills are just kind of mediocre. There's a lot of gore in it, but like I said, the majority of it is CGI blood. This film, in its first act, starts off, I swear to God, this film could pass as a Hallmark film. Like one of those cheap, like, Hallmark cheesy romantic comedy dramas kind of thing that come out at Christmas time, except loaded with gore. If you cut out the gore scenes, you can totally trick somebody into watching this, or if you bring somebody in for the first 2 to 5 minutes, you can trick them to thinking this is like a romantic comedy, because that's how it starts. You have this girl named Cindy. There's this tragic thing that happens at the beginning of the movie where she comes down and she meets Santa Claus, gives Santa Claus a kiss, and Santa Claus like waves her away kind of thing. And then it kind of rewinds and shows what really happened, and the mom comes down and she's like, "Get out of here, you monster!" And then the mom falls down and accidentally dies. And this is where the little girl Cindy looked at the Grinch as a monster and ruined her childhood, ruined her Christmas. And then it flashes forward 20 years later where she comes to Newville, which is the town she grew up in with her father, and they're trying to kind of revamp Christmas, like put the positiveness of the holiday in their hearts kind of thing, and kind of she's trying to heal her PTSD in a sense. But lo and behold, the killings start again, and she meets this cop in Newville, and their romantic interest is just so forced and so cheesy, and the story around the film is just kind of nonsensical. But you have this Grinch living in the mountains, and he hates everything about Christmas, and anything Christmas related, he'll come and wreak havoc kind of thing. There's this group of Santa Claus impersonators that come into the town, and they're just looking to get loaded. It's the middle of the afternoon. A lot of this film takes place during the day, which I found kind of weird. There is some nighttime scenes in this film, but a lot of it's during the day, and a lot of the kills are during the day, and it's just not shot very well. And like I said, the editing is what brings this film down a lot. And then there's a scene involving Cindy where her motivations and her personality really change throughout the film. Like at the beginning she's timid, but very quickly she gets this interest in this cop, and she wants him to help her, but he's semi taking her seriously, semi not. There's a twist involving like the mayor in the of the town kind of thing that I'm not going to get into, but there's a little bit of like reveals towards the third act of the film. And there's a part of the film where she basically starts to train to go after the Grinch, and it's just the biggest spoof on itself and hilarity on itself. Like, it's so corny the way it's done, and it's like a self parody essentially. When she's going all Sarah Connor mode, it's just you can't take it seriously. There's certain points of dialogue that you can't take seriously. I honestly think, at least it feels this way. I could be dead wrong, but it feels like David Howard Thorne. Obviously, he was brought in because he's so good at playing Art the Clown, so he kind of brings his talents to playing the Grinch, and he's fine. He did what he was asked. He's just not utilized well, and by not utilized well, I mean like barely at all. And it really feels like he was doing a favor for the production, for the people who put this film together, more so than like him being super passionate about being in the film. And again, I could be wrong, because he might have came up with the whole idea himself. I have no idea. But it's a strong B movie, and it just feels cheap. But that doesn't mean that I hated it, and it's still a film that at least I could have a good time with. And if you watch it, I'm talking about myself here, I don't know about whoever else. It's not really a film that I recommend, but I certainly, if you could find it streaming somewhere, I'd give it a shot. And it's it's fun at the very least. It's goofy, and it's worthwhile enough, basically, for like a Christmas slasher horror movie with some kills in it. I'm really disappointed that there was not more practical gore, because they could have really amplified that with it. But for what it is, it's passable. It's fine. It's fine. If you want to see the Grinch killing some people, and played by David Howard Thorne, who really knows how to do those silent, expressionless mime kind of villains, it's fine. It's just they could have used him way, way better. And there's a lot of things that they could have vamped up in a story like this, in a plot like this. And I wouldn't even say that the budget was necessarily holding them back, because clearly this film had enough of a budget where they could have done more with it, kind of thing. But it's just okay. It's a really okay film. I've heard a lot of bashing on it. I don't blame anybody if they don't like it at all. But for me, it's fun enough, and I don't regret watching it. And I would, I would buy it. If I wouldn't probably pay like a whole lot for it, but it's not a film that I despised. It's just a film that's all right. Like I said, at least it's better than some of the Krampus films that I've seen on Tubi, and a lot of films that I've seen on Tubi based on, children's lore and stuff like that. But that's all I really got on it. It's okay. So Christmas is here. Give it a shot if you find it somewhere. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice, or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.